Hello again, everyone. If you've not read my last update, I have since left my hotel and I took an Uber to my friend's house an hour away. As I got in the Uber, the driver had been waiting for me to come out and I got into his car. I nearly shit myself as he turned on his car, as I found the car directly across from us was a grey Volkswagen. I couldn't tell if it was the same one from the night before, because A, this one had a license plate on it, and B, I had never gotten a good look at it up close before, so it could just be any other person's car. As we were leaving, I looked up to the hotel, and in one of the rooms there was clearly a figure looking out of the window. I'm not jumping to any conclusions right now as to whether it was him. I'm not sure if it was the same room as mine. I honestly keep questioning myself at this point whether all this shit is real or just paranoia. Maybe the guy did actually find me and I was just about to be slaughtered, maimed, or worse. Or maybe this is just a classic case of the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, and I'm just finding ways to freak myself out more. One thing that is for sure is that this guy is definitely still hunting me. I got a text from Mr. Sullivan, Nick, or whatever the fuck he wants to call himself, and I'm still petrified after seeing it. At exactly 8:34 PM today, he sent me a video, and the only other thing he said in the text was, "I see you." Video is posted in the description. I am positively sure this is my house. Now I want to know when the video was taken. Probably was not taken last night as the police were all around watching my house. So that means he either took it the first 2 nights, or as recently as today. And I'm really hoping it's the latter. If he took it today, that means he probably still thinks I'm staying there. Unfortunately though, this guy seems far from stupid, and if he has stalked me enough to know my garage door code, he most certainly must have noticed I'm no longer coming back there. Either way, he's trying to terrorize me, and he is probably trying to get me to flee my house for his perfect moment to strike. In some twisted way, I expected worse. I don't know what makes this psychopath tick, maybe dead animals, maybe dead people, or just seeing his victims crumble under all the stress he inflicts upon them. What I am dreading is if he actually manages to find me at my friend's place. This guy we'll call Tom, not his real name obviously, took up the mantle of protecting me. And if this guy manages to find me, I will never forgive myself for putting this on him. I offered to pay him money, but he refused. So for the past 2 hours, we've just been doing nothing but drinking beer and playing video games to calm my nerves. Tom is a bit of a hick, I would say. He loves dipping, sitting on his front porch, drinking beer. He has a pretty large collection of guns, probably the best friend to have in a situation like this. Just as you guys have been begging me to get a hold of. So all in all right now, I'm feeling the most secure I've felt out of all the days since this shit started. I have informed the police about my situation and the video, and they told me they had not seen a car parked near my house at all in the past day. I gave them the number and they told me they will do their very best to try and triangulate its position. Now that it's getting pretty late, my friend and I have decided we need to start securing the place in case of intruders. His house has security alarms. He lives on a relatively busy street, so no one can park near the house without parking in the driveway, and he's been staying off social media as I have asked him to do, for my safety. The anxiety hasn't stopped, but this is the first time I have a friend by my side to help with this situation, so I feel a little better. He gave me one of his pistols and we started shooting in the range in his backyard, despite never having shot a gun before in my life. We are currently on his porch, just talking as I write this down. I am very grateful for all your support for the past couple of days. Updates will come as always, everybody. Have a good night, everyone. Hopefully nothing notable will happen for once. Now we wait. I'm sorry for the wait, everyone, but I've been on the road all day. I posted another album on Imgur showing pictures of my hotel room from the other night, You'll be able to see them now. Last night, when I posted the third update, many people in the comments had told me I needed to stop using Reddit as it would only lead to find my location, so I didn't. I turned off my laptop and put my phone on airplane mode for the past day. I decided my best course of action would be to calm my nerves and finally get some shut-eye. I signed off Reddit, jumped into my buddy's couch, and finally went to sleep. At approximately 3 in the morning, my friend woke me up telling me I needed to check something out. I immediately grabbed the revolver I had left on the table next to the couch, and we went to the front porch. In the distance, we could see a parked car all the way down the road. I'd say it was about 300 yards and still visible because of a street light. The following is the conversation, best I could remember it. See that car down there? I was dozing off, and the moment I snapped out of it, the thing just showed up out of nowhere. It was just sitting there. How long do you think it's been there for? Not sure. I just saw it there and stared at it for a good 2 minutes. After that, I took out my flashlight and started flashing it on and off. Then the car shut off and some guy got out, waved, and just walked into the woods. There's a wooded area near my buddy's house that, if you walk through it, you can walk into a large open field in his backyard. There's a fence dividing the field from his backyard, but it can easily be hopped. Do you think we should check it out? No. This guy could be going into the woods and coming back round towards my back door. You need to stay here. I'll go check it out. Alright, if it's a grey Volkswagen, we need to leave immediately. I want you to record the license plate and look inside and look for anything notable. That means ropes, knives, duct tape, anything sketchy. We need to get out of here. Alright, wait inside and defend the house. Make sure no one gets inside. I went back inside and stared out the window as Tom approached the vehicle with his 12 gauge. I went to the back of his house and stared out the backyard window and saw some figure start walking across the field. This was particularly strange as there were no houses visible in the field, and he just seemed like he was walking towards nowhere. He climbed over a hill and he was no longer in view from the window. I went back out to the front window to look at the car, and Tom was checking it out. I felt relieved for the slightest moment, as if I felt maybe, just maybe, I was overreacting. Then his home phone rang. I looked at the caller ID and saw it was my area code, not Tom's. At this point, I still had my phone on airplane mode, so I assumed it was just someone from my neighborhood or family trying to contact me. I felt almost intrusive seeing that I was answering a call to a home that was not even mine. But now was not the time to take chances, so I answered. Hello? Excuse me, who is this? Oh, excuse me, sir, my apologies. Is this the owner of the household? No, I'm just a friend of the owner. He's currently outside. Who is this? At this point, I just felt that feeling in the pit of your stomach when you realize you fucked up. I just revealed that I'm alone, and whoever is calling just realized that. Hello?
Who else are you with, sir? Is it just you?
At this point, I'm shaking and I can barely speak without stumbling over my words. I decided the best thing to do was lie like no tomorrow. No, we're having a party and there are a couple people here. Ask again, sir. Who's calling?
Are you sure about that? I was just walking by and I saw there was only 2 cars in his driveway.
At this point, I completely lost my shit. Listen, just fucking tell me who the fuck you are and why you are calling this house so late. Hello? Can you please just fucking tell me?
I apologize, sir. I may have the wrong number. Tell whoever owns this house to call back. Thank you.
Then he hung up. Tom had come back and said the car was not a Volkswagen and had a license plate. He said the windows are tinted and the doors were locked, so there was really nothing he could make out. I told him about the caller, and he said he had no idea whose number that was. He called back. No answer. He called from a restricted number. No answer. An hour passed by as we were sitting on the porch, and we heard an audible slam from his back door. We both looked at each other, and he motioned to follow him around back. We saw nothing out of the ordinary. We looked around everywhere for footprints, but still nothing. When we had gotten back to the front porch after countless minutes of searching, it was approximately 4 in the morning at that point. It wasn't until 10 minutes after we got back to the porch that we noticed the car 300 yards away was gone, and we hadn't even noticed. I haven't gotten any sleep last night. I told him that I wanted to leave his house because I need to keep moving, and he said he wants to come too. He locked up all his doors, bought some more guns, and we drove off at 6 in the morning. Police still haven't done jack shit despite all the valuable intelligence I gave them, and I've been on the road all day with my friend. I drove a lot and he slept in the back. We are currently at McDonald's as I type this. We were joking, saying if we do end up getting kidnapped, murdered, attacked, these NoSleep posts will make one hell of a based on a real story script. I'm just tired, guys. Tired of being stalked, tired of being hunted down, and tired of making these goddamn posts. I just want this to be over. If anything happens tonight, I'll let you all know. Bye for now. I'm sorry to inform you guys, but I think it's about time we wrap up the show. My parents have returned home, and both the police and my neighbours haven't seen the man ever since I left. I've been on the road for the past few days, and I just want to stop running. My parents informed me that they got a hold of a revolver now, and all I want to do is just go home, sleep in my bed, and be done with this madness. I was starting to think that all of this has just been in my head. The guy hasn't made any notable appearances in my life since that night, and maybe the video he sent me was just from the first 2 nights I saw him. I don't know. I guess that's been the problem since the very start of this. Overreacting. Maybe the guy is just some deranged burglar. Maybe he came to my house thinking I was somebody else. I don't know for sure. Tom and I have been on and off the road, only stopping to get food or to piss. A lot of comments have been telling me either to stop using Reddit or to stake it out and confront the man myself. I've come to realize that I have been making a poor choice documenting everything that has been happening on Reddit. God only knows if this man has been using this to his advantage. But more importantly, I've been hiding and running away from him all this time. I thought it was finally time I confronted myself. Now, I'm not going to make an effort to contact him or find him, but if he decides he wants to come attack my house, my family, and myself, then he'll meet his maker. However, I thought a good start would be to pay the 7-Eleven guy a visit today, and we decided to confront him. I just needed to be sure it wasn't him. We parked in front of the 7-Eleven at about 8 at night, about 3 hours ago. This is the conversation we had to the best of my memory. Is this the guy? Yeah, this is him. Let's just go in and ask him a few questions. We just need to scare him a little to see how he responds. Tom took his pistol from the back seat and put it in his holster. Dude, is this necessary? Look man, we aren't even sure if this is the guy. We can't just pull a gun on him and make him shit himself. Just taking a precaution is all. And if this is the guy, we gotta be careful. And with that, Tom got out of his car and started walking in as I followed. As soon as we got in, he asked, "Hey boys, how we doing today?" We both gave him a stern look and he responded, "Hey guys, come on, what's the sour mood?" I looked at Tom, and he looked back at the cashier and asked, "Lovely day, ain't it?" I could see that the guy was getting visibly nervous and began to sweat a little. "Hey man, I couldn't help but notice that gun in your holster. Pretty nice gun, that's an M1911 Colt, right? My dad had one of those." We didn't break eye contact. "Yeah, I would say it's a pretty nice day, isn't it? How's your day? Going well?" I went directly in front of the counter and got face to face with him. "Hey, can I ask you something?" I could see the cashier swallowing and he coughed. Yeah, sure, what is it?" "Do you drive here to work by any chance?" "Oh, negatory. My friend drops me off." I looked at Tom, and he looked back at the guy. "You best not be lying to us." The cashier broke. "Look guys, I don't want any trouble. If you're gonna rob the place, that doesn't concern me. I'm just a guy who works here, alright? Just take the money and go if that's what you want." "We aren't here to rob anything. Just asking a couple questions if that's alright with you." Cashier folded his arms and said, "Sure, that's whatever you need. What's up?" "When does your shift end?" Usually around 3 in the morning. "Hey, what's this all about, boys? You guys undercover cops or something?" "Have you seen a grey Volkswagen in the past couple of nights you've been working here?" "Actually, I did. The night before you came in, there was this guy who came in after you the other night." "Did he buy anything?" "Yeah, he bought some cigarettes and dipping tobacco. He didn't say much, but he said he had a long night ahead of him." "I take it he gave you ID?" "Yeah, he did." "What was his name, do you remember?" "I think his name was Nathan Silverstein or something like that." "Nick Sullivan?" "Shit, I'm pretty sure that was his name. What's it to you, by the way?" "Can I see your ID for a second?" He showed us his ID, and this guy seemed to be completely innocent. "Alright man, thank you for your time. The police might come later to ask you for your camera feed that night, but I really appreciate your help." We left, and that was the end of it. Finally, after all these days of running, we finally got a decent lead on this guy. We called the police, and they are currently going over the tapes. This was an amazing feeling. Now that we have a good lead on this guy, I can finally go home. Tom has been such a good friend in the past couple days. He has stuck with me through thick and thin, and even through these rough times, and I am eternally grateful for what he has done for me in this time of need. After a long day of travelling, he told me that his girlfriend has been awfully worried about him. This made me feel even worse about the situation. I finally told him that we needed to part ways, and that I wanted him to go home and rest, and that I apologized for putting him in danger. He told me not to sweat it, and it was a pretty exciting experience for him despite it maybe putting our lives in jeopardy. I gave him some money to help with his troubles. He's going to his girlfriend's house, he said, and he'll be staying there for a while until this gets completely sorted out. No more running, no more fear, no more stalking. I'm finally done with this, guys. I can't wait to go home, see my family, and be safe and sound in my home again. I want to thank you all for your support through these days. It really means a lot. At some point I got text from my parents saying it was safe to come home. When I called, everything sounded normal. However, my mother sounded somewhat worried and flustered about the whole situation when my dad put her on the phone. I asked her what's wrong, and she simply told me, "I'm under a lot of stress," and followed by, "Just come home, please, we miss you." I feel really sorry for them. I don't know why, but I somewhat blame myself for all of this shit happening. If they hadn't seen the stalker at all, then this must just have something to do with me and me alone. I must have done something to cause this man to torment my family. As we speak, Tom has just left to go back home, and I'm finishing the last update at Starbucks. I'll call an Uber and I'll finally be home. If the guy gets caught, I think I'll link you guys to the news article or something, but this is the final update. Thank you all for the advice and enthusiasm. Peace. 12:12 a.m. Just came home and there aren't any cars in the driveway. I'm a little worried. I'm calling my parents. 12:14 a.m. Alright, no answers from my parents. Gonna try the garage code now. 12:16 a.m. Well, my parents must have changed the garage code or something. I'm banging on the door and no one is fucking answering. 12:18 a.m. Jesus, it's fucking cold. 12:21 a.m. Alright, well, the lights are turning on in my bedroom, so they're obviously home. 12:24 a.m. Have a nice day, everyone. 12:34 a.m. Guys, I'm just kidding, y'all need to chill. 12:35 a.m. More updates to come, guys. Lots and lots of updates. 12:38 a.m. Just wait for 3:24 a.m., everyone. All good things come to an end, my friends. Home sweet home.